Okay, so we're Birds on Power Lines, and we're doing something different.
Yeah, because
you can see us
on camera.
And if you're listening to the audio podcast, you won't see us. But if you do want to see us, head over to YouTube at Birds on Power Lines podcast, and you'll see us. Other than that, you just get the audio, which is great, and we're glad you're listening. And we decided to do something different. We want to talk about the Dead Boys Detectives. And we decided we did not tell each other what our favorite parts of each episode were. Yeah. So we watched the whole thing, right? Yep. And then we went and we put down what our thoughts were, and now we're going to share them with you. Yep. And so
exclusive look.
Exclusive with unedited, and we're going to just time. We have no idea what each other are going to say. So let's get into this, right? So
you have the episode name. So
I wrote down the episode names, and you did not. So the first episode, the Crystal Palace. All right. Do you want to go?
Isn't it the case of Crystal Palace?
The case of the Crystal Palace, right? Okay. So for me. Or do you want to go first?
No, you go first.
All right. So each of us has notes. Since I am old, I did it on paper. Yeah. And the young one did it on the phone.
Because I can't read my handwriting.
Even crossed my mind to do that. All right. So, for me, the things that really struck me were, first of all, the horror of that child living in that basement. And that creeped me out. Mm-hmm. And the thing that really creeped me out is when Charles got sucked in. Like that whole thing where he's like hit his feet in and it just sucked him in. And then the other thing was Edwin's death. I really hated that. Like I mean, right? Like it was so unfair. Yeah. And I keep thinking about it, and it just reminds me of the stupid things that you do when you're young. And it was a dumb prank. And I mean, I never did anything like that, but it's normal.
But of course, like everyone knows someone who's.
But when you're young, you kind of do these occult things. Not that I would, you know what I mean? Like this,
like I didn't. When you summon like a demon.
Yeah, I didn't do the Ouija board thing. I did not do that, but I do know that people, so stupid things that you do when you're young, and and I almost feel sorry for the other guys too, because they had no idea that what they were doing was actually real. And we can come back to that. Yes. But
we are going to come back to that.
So that's what I have right now, and you can talk about your thing because I can't read this right now.
Oh.
So go ahead. That's
why I typed it out. Yeah, well, actually, what I liked the most, I just liked their office, like seeing their. We didn't really see it for that long, but I really liked seeing Charles and Edwin's office, and especially because I'm a big like Sandman fan, and of course seeing the same actress who played Death like in the Sandman, and now we have like this whole like Sandman extended universe.
Nice
I really
it
like
was
that.
Her, right?
I really like that. And then like later on we see other actors who are now going to be in the second season. Like I just really like that, and I love how their office looks. Like if I ever am a like private consulting detective, I want to have an office like that. I want to have that office.
It was just the way they did it was just looked so
both like professional, but also like just two guys
like and I just kind of like this sort of aesthetic. So I think that was the one thing about the show is that again, it's so well done. Like you put everything together, and it looks like nothing left was like there's nothing blank in the office, right?
Yeah, and I feel like that's also like
so they thought about everything.
That's a common thing with like when Neil Gaiman is like one of the showrunners.
I don't know if he was a showrunner.
Like he has some creative input into it.
Yeah, I have no idea, but everything like that. Like but every show is like that now. Like any good quality show, there's like a whole industry now just on making, and they make things authentic, and there's everything there seems to be. So it was so great. Yeah. The other note I had here is that it was really hard to remember as it was the first episode, and I'm still getting my bearings.
Makes sense.
So and you already know a little bit about it because you like we're both in like I like Sandman, but this one knows a lot more about it. Yeah. But so anything else on?
No, that was all I had for the first episode.
Yeah, so it was, and I mean everything was great. I mean, especially the possession of. Anyways, it was just very cool. But we go on forever with this. So we're just doing our highlights. All right, so that isn't that we didn't love other things. All right, so the case of the Dandelionshrine. You want to go first?
Sure, I can go first. I liked a bit how I like the scene when like Crystal tricks the sprites into getting out of Nico's body, because like it showed I like because it kind of showed that like yes, she is a bit like new to the whole like supernatural occult thing. I mean, yes, she's a psychic, but also like dealing with like dead people mysteries, and like all this crazy spirit world stuff.
And also her willingness to do that.
Her willingness to like do that.
That
for,
was
like,
another
someone
thing.
Who's basically a complete stranger, and like even like Charles and Edwin, like she basically doesn't know them at all, and she still like doesn't even know who she is. But like the fact that like she was able to do this and like be very clever and work well under pressure despite not like really understanding what the heck is going on. I think that really helped to like highlight the fact that like she's like her character like is definitely like a very strong-willed individual.
Yeah.
And like she's able to like just keep her cool. And
it's interesting. And going on the fly, the willingness to self-sacrifice too is good because she's not dead.
And also she offered herself up as like bait. She was like, oh, you can come
do it to me. Yeah. So that was cool. Anything else that you had?
No, that was what I had for that episode.
Okay, so what do I have? Oh, the reveal of the Cat King.
Oh, the Cat King.
Oh, I love the
Cat
King.
King.
Give me some more of that Cat King.
Maybe.
And I liked how that was focused on Edwin with that, and I just love that. What is that? Je ne sais quoi. That thing that they had, and it sort of already set up that angst or that tension between those two characters, and I love that. And playing on Edwin's fear of uncertainty, what is proper, and he doesn't really know himself yet, and that I really liked. I mean, he knows himself and he doesn't know himself. I think he's scared of himself.
Probably, I mean,
right? Because
like he died when he was so young, and
it
he
was
living
also
in, like,
the times are different, right?
Yeah.
Tragic Mick.
Oh, and Tragic.
The really magic shop, and it seems to be like a neutral place. Yeah. Like they can all go in there and no one's like Tragic Mick. I mean, he takes sides, but he can't really, right? Yeah. So he gives magic stuff to both sides, right? So that I was like, where did he get all that stuff, right?
He's been alive a long time.
Yeah,
He's
that's
been around a while.
So and I'm not sure. Like I wrote down here, I'm not sure why I love it, but I do.
It's just like that little kooky corner store magic shop.
Yeah, it's just like I love the neutrality of it, and I just love Tragic Mick.
Yeah.
And there's no character I don't like. Yeah. And then the sprites.
Oh, I mean, there's some characters I don't like.
Well, you know what I mean. But I mean, every character is a fully fledged character, right? There's no
throwaway.
No, there's no throwaway characters, and then the sprites. I wasn't sure what I thought, but they're just silly, and I'm not sure why they kept them around.
Yeah, no, I think the reason they kept them around was just because like Nico just is like that kind of person. Like,
yeah, she's like, oh, aren't they? She's just cute, aren't they? Like, oh, okay.
I think she's nice to a fault.
Yeah, she's like, there you go. All right, next one. You have anything else for Crystal Palace?
No.
And now that we know what
Dandelionshrine, second one.
Oh, yes. That's what. Oh, yes. Yeah, second one was the Dandelionshrine. Yeah, I misspoke. And one take Jake here. Okay. So now the case of the Devlinhouse. And that, for me, that reminded me of Devil's House. Oh, yes. Right?
You're right, actually.
I don't know why if that was intentional, but probably. All right. So you want me? Monty's reveal. Yeah. Oh, we gotta love us some Monty.
Poor Monty.
Oh, he's so cute. I know. As soon our reaction, right?
I'll have to.
But you know what I mean, right? Yeah. Because we thought, oh no, right? We both when we saw him, we thought, oh, that's not good, right? Because here he was. He could be bait, right? Because he could be bait for anybody, right? Probably except for Edwin would be bait. He'd be bait for. Would he be bait for? Anyways, he's.
Probably.
He was just. So problem for I wrote down problem for the girls and for Edwin is what I wrote down. So that was why.
I don't think he'd be a problem for the girls.
Well, but when you first saw him, look, you got to admit he's a good-looking guy.
Well, once you get to know the character,
no, but he didn't at first. At the end of the case of the Devlinhouse, you just see him, right? Mm-hmm. So you're like, oh, and the poor crow, right? Because we both love crows, i.e. your shirt. Yeah. Actually, you got, or was that a raven?
I have no idea. That's one of them.
And then, the scuttering of that demon. What was he called? Misery wraith. Yeah. That was really living on despair and Edwin's experience with that and understanding what that meant, right? And that is another reveal on Edwin because he understands demons.
Yeah, and also he's been through a lot.
He's been through a lot. So that was another thing. So that creepy thing. And I guess in terms of throwaway characters, we never see that again. But it was a throwaway because it served the purpose of revealing how much Edwin knows.
That's true. But also, like, I mean, most characters, like the one Kate's characters, you don't really see again.
But it was pretty powerful, even though And then the other thing, there's always got to be some comedy, and that was the two cats watching the horror of what was going on in that house.
They're always watching.
They're always watching, and and then so that was a little bit of comedic thing that was in there, and then Charles trying to help and getting caught in the whole loop himself, right? Oh my God, right? So that would be the worst thing ever because we're starting to learn a little bit more about Charles at this point. But now we know more about Edwin and not as much about Charles. So, so that was my, top list.
Yeah, and actually, we were thinking almost exactly the same thing. I was, I didn't write. Oh, yeah, no, yeah, I did. Okay, so I was thinking when, like, I like the scene with the misery rave when Edwin and Crystal were in the VHS tape room and, like, Edwin was remembering the things that Charles told him about the VHS tapes. And I just thought that was like really neat because like he's like he died long before those things existed. Yeah. But and I mean now like they don't really exist anymore anyway. But he died like so long before those existed, and then Charles he basically remembered everything that Charles taught him about that. And like we kind of see that parallel later when Charles has to rescue Edwin, but that's for later. But then I also said when Charles gets sucked into the loop, that's like kind of the first time we really, because like so far like we've just seen him being like a pretty like steady, calm, consistent character, and that's the first time we've seen him like actually like really like lose it, and he literally just takes a swing at that guy, and that's what gets him sucked in. But like of course like, and then we've seen him repeating that over and over and over and over and over again, and like it really makes you think like that was his life, like that he was repeating that same thing. Like
see, I didn't think about it that way, but and that's what happened
because that's why he got so mad, because that was what his life was like. So it's just an interesting like kind of parallel between like the actions that he's taking now that he's sort of able to like more directly have an influence in his own life. I guess like he kind of has more control over his life now that he's dead, if that makes any sense.
How sad is that?
But like that's just that parallel that he still makes almost like, or he makes like the decision he probably wishes he would have made at the time. Like he tries his best to stand up to that.
Okay, and
that was mine. That was my take.
That was your take?
That was my take.
So now it is the case of the Lighthouse-leapers.
Yep.
All right, are you going to go first?
Sure, I can go first. Yeah, I most especially like the fight with the night nurse, because we've been seeing like flashes of her. We've been seeing like flashes of her like throughout the episodes, the end of the episodes, and we're like, what is she on about? What is she doing? What's her goal here? And then now like we actually see like her taking action and like going to Earth and trying to like
do something.
But then again, like this is another time when we see Charles like really just take the prerogative and like stand up and like literally just because he thought he killed her pretty much, which so like that was really interesting because like we see like afterwards we see like a kind of like a shift in how the other characters treat him or interact with him, like they're a little bit more because they're a little bit more cautious with him because like now they're more aware that he does have like a fuse and like if there's something that really is bothering him, he will just like go.
And then they also saw him suffering, right?
Because that's true. Yeah.
She's trying to make him think, well, why do you want to stay here when your life was so cruddy, right? And so yeah.
So
that's it.
That was
okay. So what did I say? I love that scene with the washerwoman.
That's true.
And her speaking in riddles. Yeah. I don't know why I love that. I just like the way it looked and that whole thing with the reddish light. Like you're the
weird like red filter.
Yeah, you're the music person and I'm the video. That kind of I like effects like that. And then trying to solve that, and then tragic Mick looking for her, right? And then Nico giving him that glass, and I know, and
it wasn't the right color.
It wasn't the right color, but again, it's Nico trying to heal everybody, right? You know, and
she's always trying to help.
Yeah. And then I had, of course, I said, and of course, the night nurse. Yeah. And seeing what happened to Charles.
Yeah.
And his absolute rage at getting the nurse into Angie.
Yeah.
And then you're thinking, because she's not dead,
no,
right? Because she can't. She's but what's going to happen? Mm-hmm. And I was thinking when I saw that, oh, she's going to be pissed, and she's going to, who knows what she's going to do, right?
Yeah.
So that was what I was thinking, and I thought, oh, this might make things worse.
Yeah.
All right. So those were my highlights from the Lighthouse Leapers. Mm-hmm. All right?
All right.
Okay. The case of two dead dragons. You first or me first?
Yeah, you probably go first. You go first.
This is me doing research, but I noticed, and shout out to you SG1 fans that might be listening to this, but Amandatapping was the director, and we love us some Samantha Carter. So I was just like, oh, cool. So
that kind of does make sense, like considering the
topic.
The topic of.
I don't know, but I just love that, and I thought that was great, and I think with me, I said, right, the date with Maxine and Jenny, and the impalation was gruesome, and I was just like, what the hell happened? But actually, when it happened, my immediate reaction was to laugh out loud. So
really?
And I'm like, why did I just laugh at that? That was just so horrible. But I thought, but something about the timing and, it just sort of like the throwback to horror movies. Like, I just thought it was funny.
Okay.
And then ending with Monty and Edwin on the swings. That was cute. It was just like, and then, he was saying, oh, I feel the same about you. And he's like, I wasn't talking about you.
Oh, no. I think both of us were like, oh. No.
So I thought, okay, so those were my highlights.
Okay.
The two dead dragons.
That's weird because like the past two episodes we've been saying like almost exactly the same thing because I wrote down Jenny and Maxine like their date. I really liked that scene. Like I just personally I really like Jenny. Like I just like her.
How can you not like Jenny?
I just think she's she's
the epitome of a strong woman.
Yeah, but actually I was a bit surprised that like she actually like we find out that she couldn't see the two boys like until like later.
That's true, right? Like I was into the next episode, but I was thinking to the same thing. That she shouldn't be able to see them.
I was thinking like I think they mentioned like they said the near death experience was one, and I feel like almost getting killed by like your blind date is a near death experience, but also like I feel like wasn't witnessing death another one. So she did witness death.
Yeah, but that's the thing. But that but that tells you that's not a big deal for her.
I guess,
right?
Yeah.
So then so that makes me think I'd like more backstory on Jenny. I did not think about that.
She didn't.
But that wasn't traumatic enough for her to be able to see Edwin and Charles.
So it wasn't a traumatic near-death event for her, and it also wasn't like experiencing or being shocked by death, but then again it might just be a plot hole for
but when we think about it, that's what we do in any fandom. That's what we're gonna speculate.
So that just surprised me a little bit because I was thinking for sure
we were both thinking that now she's gonna see them, but she didn't. Anything else?
No.
Okay. The case of the creeping forest. Do you want to go first?
Sure, I can go first.
All right.
I liked the three-way ambush between Monty, Edwin, and the Cat King. Because that entire like scene was just really fraught with a lot of different types of tension. Mm-hmm. And I just thought it was interesting, and like the fact that like the Cat King can almost like just make like a chandelier in the middle of the forest or whatever, and he has all and
that sort of tells you about his powerful abilities to do really cool stuff. That's why I said I love me some Cat King.
But I honestly I felt really bad for all three of them in different ways, but especially like Charles Edwin, especially Edwin, because he had like no idea what to do. Like he just was completely at
which is like, unusual for Edwin.
Yeah, because like he's always like the guy who like he knows everything. He's got everything under control. Like he always has a plan. But then like with this, like he's clearly like personally struggling because I mean like both he's torn between these two people, and then also like he really did trust Monty, and then he's like feels like he got betrayed, and then Monty was like, I'm trying to change, and then of course what happens to him. That was really sad. And then the Cat King is just there, and he's
so
like
evil. Like, God.
The Cat King is just there, and he's like, he's doing stuff, but he clearly like, because he gets like some immortal-ish.
Well, he's got 9 lives.
He's a very old deity, and of course, like he's like, this is like of course, like he's like falling for the random like British guy, but it's just, I feel like all three of them are struggling, like both, like I guess with a bit of their identities.
Yeah, so this is
levels.
that is episode 6, right? So yeah, they're all still like, if you look at the arc of a story, right? So they're all still in there, like I'm trying to figure stuff out.
But yeah, I just thought that scene was interesting.
All right, I did. I agree. Okay, so now with me, what did I like? Oh, that scene with Angie and the night nurse in there. And it was Kashina, I wrote down. Kashina is the guy's name? I think that's what I wrote down.
Probably.
I really like that. And again, even though that character is so short-lived in the series, it's just, he has such a powerful impact, right? Gives the night nurse that ring, and of course we see that ring later. And teaching her another way of thinking, right? That things don't have to be always what you think that they should be, and I thought that was just an interesting thing. And then at the end, what did I say? At the end, the status with Edwin not being completely clear, right? Yeah. So that was, what would I mean by that? But yeah, I think it's because he tried to not, so you don't really know what's going on with him at the end, right? And because he got dragged back to hell, right? So we don't know where did he go? I think we both like what happened? And we were like, oh no, like, oh my god. So that was that end of that episode was a total cliffhanger, because of course we
finally have like the night nurse getting off their case,
and then dragging him back to hell, and you couldn't actually see what it was. Yeah,
we just many-legged.
It looked like it had a lot of legs. So, but what is that thing? So it's some sort of spider thing. Yeah. So, of course, that was shocking. And I was just like, okay. All right. Yeah. So that was my episode 6. Right. So episode 7, The Case of the Very Long Stairway.
That's one way to put it.
Okay. So do you want to go first or am I going first?
Sure, you can go first.
I'm going first. Okay. So I actually wrote down, I think this was actually my favorite episode. Okay. I just loved it. And then, seeing, because here you also get to see how Edwin and Charles met, right?
That's true.
And I thought that was pretty powerful, and so you can sort of, and then that whole thing with Charles searching for Edwin in hell. And that had such like a, almost like a Blair Witch Project feel to it.
I have no idea what that is.
Yeah, I know you don't, but it's kind of like, sort of live action horror thing happening, and from his point of view, and I, that cinematography in hell with despair. That whole thing with despair, and the fact that I knew that was despair as soon as I saw it.
I knew that.
Well, you're the Sandman person. I was like, that's got to be despair. So it's really hard to pick my favorite part of it because I just love the whole episode. And I think, going back to what we said at the very beginning about how the boys that did that to Edwin were just stupid, and then seeing that guy sort of in his perpetual torment. Yeah, torment, that's the word I'm looking for. And how terrible he felt, and actually how he actually loved Edwin. And that was the other thing there, and then
that was a kicker.
Then him forgiving him, and then that death then came and basically rescued him.
Pretty much. Yeah.
But the thing is, Edwin doesn't know that that's what happened, but we do, right? So I think that was pretty powerful. That so they're still having that impact on other. I mean, you don't know what happened to the other boys. Yeah. But
the main one that we saw.
Yeah, and I think he sort of
he probably was the main bully.
I don't know if he was the main bully, but he might have been one of the ones that thought of the idea. Yeah. And yeah, so it was kind of like, oh, that was a kicker, right? So there's so much about that episode that was just so meaningful. It's hard to pick, but so that one was great. Okay, your thoughts?
And I think right now we're like 3 for 3 in a row. I was gonna say that exact same apology scene, the Edwin and Simon apology scene in Hell, because like Edwin was,
his name was Simon. Okay.
Yeah, his name was Simon. I wrote that down.
Okay.
Because like of course like Edwin was going through a lot because of course like he probably has PTSD from getting dragged back to hell again, as if it wasn't bad enough the first time. Like now he's back again after he escaped and stuff. But he was definitely going through a lot, but he still managed, like, in the time that he was out, like, in hell and then out again, he managed to, like, grow enough as, like, a person to forgive these people forgive this guy specifically for what they did to him. Because, I mean, like, they basically killed him. Oh, yeah,
and that was, like, that whole little S and E on the pages, I remember. Like,
yeah, and then caused that entire, like, whole thing to happen, and it's just, like, it just really shows, like, how, especially, like, I think how both of them, or really how all of the main characters in the show right now, but, like, specifically with Edwin, how much he has changed from, like, the beginning of the show, where he's, like, very, like, no-nonsense, very, like, in control of everything, to really just giving himself, like, an honest attempt to figure himself out, and growing and learning more about who he is, and realizing that, like, he doesn't want to hold on to the pain that these other people caused him.
Yeah.
And yeah, I just thought
that's
it was really
a real sign of maturity in it.
Yeah, just a bit. And I liked when the Edwin and Charles finally reunited and dragged they got back through all of those rooms in hell, and how like the two of them kept like rescuing each other from, like, if they fell down or if they couldn't keep going or whatever.
Yeah, and then, of course, what happens on the
of course what happened.
You can't just not... I mean, I don't want to ignore that.
No.
But, I mean, that was just so...
Yeah.
That was beautiful. I really think that and it was a little open-ended, and I think that was...
But I think that was good. I think that was why...
I think that was really nice, and it's just like...
That was a good way to handle that.
Yeah. I mean,
And both of them handled it with a lot of maturity,
and kudos to Charles, right? Like, you just love these two guys. And, anything else?
No.
Okay, so the one thing I didn't write down, and we can't not mention that demon. The spider made out of the doll's heads.
Oh my God,
okay, that was creepy. I mean, there's one thing as a spider, but then they add in all the little crazy doll heads.
And I mean,
wow.
Honestly, like, I know, like, I guess technically David the demon is technically like from hell, I guess.
Yeah, but he doesn't look like that.
He's not nearly as creepy.
That was just really all right. That was.
Oh, and also, I also didn't write this down, but like the whole like mini arc with like Crystal, and I guess Jenny followed her. And that's why Jenny can now see the two boys. But anyway, the whole arc with Crystal, like, literally confronting, like, her demon, pretty much confronting
I guess that's,
him.
if you think about it, they're all confronting their demons
in
this episode. So that's really kind of interesting.
I liked that arc.
Literally and figuratively.
Yeah, right? she was, like, willing to go to this, like, big guy that she's, like, honestly, probably is definitely scared of, and at the time when she's lost her powers, or no, she's gotten them back at this point.
She's gotten them
back at this point.
She's gotten them back, but she's now starting to use them, right?
She's really starting to like. She's also discovering stuff.
She gets them back with that crazy fungus thing.
Yeah.
What's his name? Mr. Teeth or something.
Mr.
Like
Teeth.
That. Something like that. I can't remember.
Yeah. But yeah, I also liked that little aside there.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. All right, so the last one is the case of the hungry snake.
Yep.
Go for it.
Okay, well, I like fight scenes. I like fight scenes a lot. The fight in Esther's house was probably my favorite scene, especially when, like, Nico was just, like, on the floor trying to be really, like, secretive and quiet while Crystal was drawing all the fire from Esther. She was, like, trying to unlock Edwin. But I liked that whole scene, like, the dynamic between, like, especially the changing perspectives we get between, like, Crystal and Esther, like, when Crystal goes into Esther's mind and stuff, and does all that, like, mind stuff.
Nasty stuff.
nasty psychic stuff. Anyway, but it just was an interesting, certainly a different fight from a lot of...
Yeah, because it was more like...
It's more like magical, psychological.
Yes, psychological. It was like, I was going to say mental, but yeah. So that was kind of like, you know, women doing stuff to...
Yeah, and then I also, I liked, like, how it was cutting between, like, Crystal, like, fighting Esther, and then Charles in the basement with the snake, with that like big like cool sword.
And he's like,
cool sword.
okay, this didn't work.
That didn't work.
Something else.
Try something else.
This doesn't work.
Yeah, and then, like he finally like with the sword, and like I really liked that.
They put some humor into it. You know what I mean?
That's true.
It's like creepy and humor and touching. Like,
but, I think it's just so cool that like because like obviously the snake is not real. And like the fact that like you can, but the snake is like it's probably at least partially like graphics.
Oh, I see what you mean.
No, I meant
You mean
it's probably I liked like the because it's dark down there, but like also like the light and shadow play with the snake and with Charles and with the sword, and like I liked that little. I liked that.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I did too.
Yeah.
But okay, what did I say? So I thought that this episode was the perfect resolution, for the last part with the night nurse. Mm-hmm. We have to say what happened to her and learning that she should stay and help them out.
Oh yeah.
And
she didn't like that.
She didn't like that, no. But I really thought that was cool. What did I write here? Something who I think is back from the dead.
Yeah, the after credit scene. I think we were both like completely gutted.
What did I mean by that again?
The after credit scene because we saw Nico in the igloo with the two sprites, or at least probably Nico.
Oh, okay.
Wherever that is.
So I was just what is that? Okay, so I'm like, what are my notes here? So and then So
I'm glad she's not dead. I'm glad she's not dead.
But the thing, that's what I said.
But where is she?
But I'm like,
what happened to her?
Remember they made his harkens back to zombie. Like she's not a zombie.
No, she's not.
But you know how she was. But you know how she was saying that zombies are real and those are supposed to be dead people brought back to life.
Yeah, because she got.
But I don't think she's a zombie. Yeah, no, I don't think that. But
she got the charm from Tragic Mick, and I think that definitely protected her because she's holding the charm at the end. But then also now the sprites are like.
Full size.
So either she's tiny, the sprites are full size, or this is happening in some...
You saw that.
It's probably happening in some different place.
Because she was holding the thing.
Yeah.
Unless they'd also shrank, but
So I think that right now, I have no idea, but I think at this point, all three of them are like, because they're all kind of tied together, are in some like different plane. Maybe they're like where the washer woman is.
I don't know, and we're gonna have to find that out, where the washer woman is.
Maybe they're in the same level
of
existence as her.
I thought they were literally up north. Like, maybe I'm being too. I mean, it looks sort of a little bit fantastical too. A little bit, with the northern lights and the aurora borealis thing going on there. And then the other thing that I wanted to add is that whole. And to me, it's really a powerful message. So that whole part with Crystal talking to Lilith. Mm-hmm. So who's going to avenge those girls, right? Mm-hmm. And I think that is really important. And I think, especially as, someone who identifies as female, I really think that, we need to stick together, regardless. And I think that, and that this is something that I think is really important. Mm-hmm. And because, and I think it was important because you've got these two, especially Edith, right?
Esther,
with names, but she's a powerful woman, and and I think that Lilith helped her because I don't think that she could. I mean, obviously, could foresee that she was going to use that power for evil, and I think that was so. Lilith feels slighted, right? Because so instead of helping other women, because this is what this is all about, she is hurting them, right? And preventing them from having their life, for their full existence. And I think that is why that was like, we're not messing around here. And I think that was really powerful. And that
I thought it was funny how she just like knocked on the door and
by the way, you're coming with me. So there was the essential humor with that. But I think that was really, that was like every episode I think had a really powerful message. And I really enjoyed, just the whole thing. And I wasn't quite sure, as someone who's a little on the older side, would I enjoy this series? And I absolutely loved it. So I give me some more of that. And I think because like I follow Neil Gaiman on whatever Tumblr or Facebook and his little journal page, and he seemed to be very happy with the result, even though he wasn't directly involved within writing the particular episodes, even though they were his characters. So I think I think that did not disappoint, and I think he was probably pretty happy with that. And talking about Neil Gaiman, that gives him a little bit more license to go back and actually write instead of having to have his fingers in everything and preventing him from writing.
That's true.
Because he can now see that people you can
next Neil Gaiman book when?
Well, but that's the thing. You can now trust other people who actually love his work as much as he obviously does to do it justice. And I think that was another good thing that came out of this series. So hopefully we get a season 2. I don't know.
It was
well, you know what Neil said. You have to watch as many episodes as you can in such a short amount of time. But I can't.
I don't think they're gonna cancel.
Well, it's not a matter of canceling it. It's just whether you make another season or not. But anyways, we're gonna assume, and until then, we're left like with any other fandom and just imagining, what the scenarios are and rewatching. So, but there's so much to watch right now, so I don't know when we're gonna rewatch it, but definitely before season 2 comes out. Yeah. But we wanted to get these thoughts down, and hopefully you enjoyed this. And if you'd like to see us live, you like to see us, hopefully you like to see us live. You like to see us together on video. Yeah. Hopefully we'll do more of these. We've got another plan. And we'll see. All right. So thank you for listening. And, please, if you haven't subscribed. This is on YouTube, if you're listening on different podcast media or sites, please do subscribe to us and follow us.
Download the episode.
Download whatever. It keeps us going. We're going to keep doing this anyways, but I think it lets us know you're there, and please comment, and what else? All right. Share. Whatever. Thanks for listening, and look forward to our next podcast. Okay, testing sound on the pile. See how that turns out. You need to talk too.
Oh, okay.
Okay, let's put it in the middle.
Yeah, let's put it here.
Okay.
And then see if it works.
Okay, so let's see how it sounds.
All right.
You also need to talk.
I am talking. That's what I'm doing.
You're not talking enough. You need to talk more because we need to hear the upper and lower timbers.
I think it's timber. Timber. I would say timber.
Of your voice, so that we can hear.
I think it's timber.
Yeah, because your voice is lower than mine.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So let's see how that's. Okay, testing this microphone.
Well, that's a lot louder.
Maybe it's more sensitive. I really don't know.
I'm gonna try to turn the gain down. I just want to see what that does.
Okay, we're still talking, and the gain is going down.
Gain's right in the middle now. I don't know if that's gonna
actually
do
now it's in the middle. Now it's in the middle. The gain's in the middle.
Monk.
Did you just call me Monk?
Mr. Monk.
I hate you. All right, so let's see how this turns out with the light. Okay, so
I'm just gonna.
Here's that one.
Okay.
I can see your circles.
Yeah, I'm probably not gonna wear them.
Okay. All right. So how come you don't see? I guess wider here you can see the circles.
I'm in a different.
I think it's because I put it.
But the angle's going right towards me.
Well, is that maybe we should.
Maybe lower it, maybe? Do you think?
Well, no, you're supposed to illuminate the face, right? So
that's confusing.
What the hell? Okay, look at the background. The background look okay?
Probably.
I've got another picture there. Okay, now let's check out the new IKEA light.
Whoa, that looks less natural.
No, but look on. So,
I mean, I feel like
gold.
Gold, okay.
White. Half and half. Gold. White. Half.
I kind of like the half one. I don't know what you think.
And you don't hear the squealing?
No, I always feel it. I always hear it. I think because
I can't hear it
because I think because I can hear it the whole time.
I just hear I hear my tinnitus. That's it.
Yeah, no, I hear the squealing.
Okay, but we'll hear on the recording. Brighter.
Now I don't hear it anymore.
Okay, it's brighter now.
Yeah, well, I don't hear the squealing anymore.
Because it's high pitched now.
So it's too high for me to hear.
When you're the young person. So there's the white.
Oh, now I hear that. Now I hear it.
That's what I thought. I can hear it. Gold.
And now I don't hear it anymore.
Yeah, so let's go with gold. Yeah?
Okay, sure. That's fine.
Dimmer.
No, now I hear it.
Brighter.
Now I don't hear it.
Okay.
So I guess in the brightest setting, you don't hear it.
Yeah, because it's
too high.
Pitched. It's going. I'm gonna hear it.
So it's still going.
Probably a bumblebee could hear it.
Yeah, or a dog.
Yeah, dog. All right. So is this good?
Yeah, probably fine.
What do we see? Okay.
You have no eyebrows.
I have no eyebrows. That's fine. I don't.
I think that's what it looks like.
Okay.
Huh. Looks like I have like eyebrows.